Hello and good afternoon. Welcome to today's webinar on personalized learning paths. Thank you so much for joining us today. A few things to note quickly. Closed captions have been enabled, so you have the option to show or hide those depending on your individual needs. Also, our Zoom Q&A box is open for any questions you may have through today's session. A recording of today's session, along with the slide deck, will be posted in the Brightspace community after we're done today. Will also be sent out to everyone who's either registered or who's attending here today. We'll also post any questions and answers with supporting links and some additional resources related to our topic in the Brightspace community as well. So let's get started with today's agenda. We'll be starting by sharing some quick introductions and clarifying some D2L terms. Next, we'll talk about getting started with creating personalized learning paths for K-12 learners and how tools within Brightspace can help you implement personalized learning in your district or in your school. We'll do a demonstration where I'll show you how you can use these tools and features within Brightspace. And then to finish off, we'll have some time for question and answer, as well as a few discussion questions if you would like to share with us. Some quick introductions. My name is Samantha. I'm a Senior Adoption Specialist here at D2L. We also have Victoria and Heather from the adoption team who will also be supporting with question and answer in the chat today. To clarify a few terms, D2L is the company, Brightspace is the product, a learning management system, and our Brightspace community is a hub of resources where you can connect with other Brightspace users, seek out additional information on Brightspace. We also have a K-12 educators user group, which you're welcome to join, where we continue our discussions after these sessions and share other relevant content to K-12 education using Brightspace. The link to join that group is in the chat. We're going to launch a quick poll now, and I'd love to hear from you all. Just three quick questions. Have you used release conditions in your Brightspace course in the past? Which tools do you find most useful in personalizing learning? And are you currently personalizing learning in Brightspace based on IEP goals? We'll give about 30 seconds or so for folks to answer the poll, and then I'll share the results with you all. All right, looks like most folks have had a chance to answer the poll, which is great. Looks like most of you are currently using release conditions in your Brightspace course. That's awesome. I'm so glad to see that. I'm seeing pretty split on useful tools for personalized learning. That probably should have been a multi-select question. Sorry about that, folks. But lots of folks are using learning outcomes, checklists, and special access. That's great. And not a lot of folks are using Brightspace to personalize for IEP goals, but that's totally fine. About 40% are, so good. Thank you, everyone. So moving right along into our content. When we're talking about personalization in Brightspace, it really goes beyond just changing colors or layouts or adding a replace string here and there. It's about meeting students where they are and helping them to succeed in ways that work best for them. You can start with personalizing course content with tools like release conditions. You can show and hide content based on student progress or activity. This means that students are seeing information that's relevant to them, whether that's enrichment for those who are ahead or extra practice for those who need a bit more time. Also, when thinking about assessment activities, Brightspace makes it really easy to offer different pathways for different students. One student may submit a written reflection while another creates a short video. You can also adjust your deadlines or expectations to accommodate individual learner needs with special access. And then behind the scenes, tools like intelligent agents can automate check-ins with students, send reminders, or give encouragement, all based on how students are engaging with the course content. So whether you're teaching a single class or if you're managing a whole grade level, Brightspace gives you flexible tools to personalize learning in meaningful and impactful ways for your students. I want to talk about a few of the tools that can be used to offer personalized learning in Brightspace. This is no means an exhaustive list, but a few key callouts I wanted to address today. First, we'll have our learning outcomes. In Brightspace, you can align course material and assessment to both curriculum standards, and you can create individual learning outcomes like those that you would have on a student IEP. This allows you to track progress not just at a class level, but also at the individual level, focusing on specific goals that matter most for individual learners. For example, if a student has a goal around improving written expression or reading and comprehension, you can align those goals to activities that monitor their growth over time. This makes it easy to personalize support and provide targeted feedback and ensure students are progressing towards their unique goals, not just the general curriculum. Something to keep in mind, if you are including individual learning outcomes, make sure your students don't have access to the class progress tool. That way, individual learning outcomes remain private for students. Next, our checklist tool. Checklists can be a really powerful tool, and if you're familiar with our webinar series, you'll know it's one of my favorite tools, and in my opinion, a really underutilized tool. They allow you to create step-by-step learning paths for students, but what's really powerful about checklists is how you can customize them, offering different checklists for different students based on their progress or needs, or allowing students to choose activities from a checklist that they would like to complete. Surveys are another great tool for personalization. They allow you to gather feedback directly from students on how they're feeling, what's working, where they're struggling. You can use their responses to adjust your teaching or provide support in a more personalized level. Maybe if a student shares they're overwhelmed, you can respond by adjusting their due dates with special access or checking in one-on-one. It's a really simple way to build connection with your students and tailor your approach. Special access gives you flexibility where students need it most. You can extend a due date, give extra time on a quiz, or even provide alternate versions of an activity for just for the students who need it. This is especially helpful, again, for accommodating IEPs or 504 plans, or just responding to individual life circumstances while keeping our students engaged and on track. And finally, our release conditions tie everything together. This tool allows you to set up personalized learning paths. For example, you can automatically unlock new content only after a student completes a prerequisite activity or submits an item on a checklist. Also, you can send different resources based on grades or completion of tasks. This means a student would move through the course at a pace that fits their learning needs, not just a set schedule. Using all these tools together can help you create a learning experience that is responsive, flexible, and truly centered on each individual student. So with that, let's take a look. First, we're going to get started with how you can create a checklist to support student choice. Today I'm getting started in my high school physics course, and I don't have my checklists tool in my nav bar, but never to worry, I can access any tool that I have available to me in my course by going through course admin. So I'm going to click in there now, and then I'll click into my checklists tool. I'm going to create a new checklist. And first thing I'm going to do is give that checklist a title. You can see here I have a Brightspace editor, so if I wanted to add multimedia to the top of my checklist, I can do that. I can also choose whether or not I want the checklist to open in frame or in a new window. But for this one, I'd like it to open in the frame. So I'm just going to save. All right, so once your checklist is created, you have to add some categories and items to that checklist. So first thing, I'm going to create a new category. And I'm going to call this learning material. And again, you can see I have the Brightspace editor, so I can add in different multimedia. I can use my insert stuff button to add a video note that I record for my students if you want, different files, and etc. Lots of different options here. But I'm satisfied with my category. I'll click Save. And then I need to add some individual items for students to select. So I'm going to start with a new item. And in this case, I'm giving students the option whether they want to complete some reading or if they would like to watch a video. So in this case, I'm giving them the option to read 2 different chapters here, and I'll save. I will add in another item here. And that will be to watch a video. If you wanted, in a case like this, you could link the video in. I'm not going to do that today since I actually don't have a video for this, but I'll click Save. And then my final checklist item, I'll click New Item and put in my title. And again, save it. So once you're satisfied with your different categories and items, you could have a number of different categories should you choose. You could assign due dates to the items if you wanted to create a checklist to keep students on track, maybe for a project. But in this case, we're going to just have our reading or watching options. So I'm going to save and close here. And then I can preview what that checklist will look like for students. So that opens up and we can see I have my learning material category, and I can choose whatever option I would like. All right. You could also, I'll open that preview back up. You could also add content that related to each of these topics and add a release condition so that if students select the watch a video, that would then trigger a release condition within content to release a content folder with that video inside of it, if that's what you wanted to do. So we are going to do release conditions next, this time focusing on providing students with the right content at the right time. To do that, I'm going to head over to my junior intermediate science course. And then I'm going to go to my content tool. So you can see here, I've added a folder called remedial content. It's currently hidden from my students, so I'm going to click in here. I don't want it to be hidden from my students forever, but I also don't want all of my students to have access to it. So I'm going to toggle it to visible. And then I'm going to go over to my options button here, the little ellipses. And I'm going to click View Release Conditions. As you can see, I have no conditions here, but I'm going to create a new condition to make this folder visible. So I'll click Create. And then from my condition type menu, I'm going to scroll down to grades in this case and select grade value on an item. As this is remedial content, I want it to only go out to students who have maybe not achieved as high as we would like on a specific quiz. So I'm going to then select this. Where is my quiz? Oh, here we go. Describing roles and interactions in the ecosystem. And I want it to go to students who have received less than 65%. You can see I have a less than or equal to, a less than, a greater than or equal to, or just greater than option. You also have your between options. So if you wanted to offer different levels of remediation or extra credit, you could do that as well with the between values here. So that is all I need for this release condition. I'm going to click Create. And it looks like that one's good to go. You can also add multiple release conditions if perhaps you wanted to only release the remedial content after a less than ideal score on a few quizzes in a row. You would do the same workflow by clicking Create and selecting whatever condition you choose there. But we've added this one here, so I'm going to click Save. And then you can see the toggle has changed. Instead of just saying visible, it says visible if conditions are met. This lets you know that students will only see that content if they meet the associated release conditions. And last but certainly not least, let's take a look at assigning special access in quizzes and assignments. The workflow for both of these is very similar, so I'm just going to go through our quiz today. And again, I don't have quizzes on my nav bar, so I'm going to access it through my course admin. And all the way at the bottom, I'm going to select quizzes. And then you can do this when you're creating a brand new quiz for the first time, or you can edit a quiz to add special access after you've created it. I'm going to edit a quiz. I'll do the same one, describing roles and interactions with an ecosystem. I'll click my Actions button here, this little downward chevron, and click Edit. And so when you're editing a course, it opens up and looks very similar to when you're creating a course. Some options are no longer available once the course has been graded. I'm going to open up my Availability and Conditions menu on the right here. And near the bottom here, I have my special access. I'm going to click Manage Special Access. I have two options when managing special access. I can allow selected users access to the quiz, or I can allow only users with special access to see the quiz. So the first one allows you to have all of your students in the course see the quiz, and different individuals would have different requirements for completion or due dates, etc. Or if you select only allow users with special access to see the quiz, only the users you assign individually to see the quiz would be able to see it, and it would not be available to anyone else. This is a good option for remediation, or if you're having different levels of assessment within a quiz. I'm going to go ahead and choose option 1. So we're giving special access to select users. And we're going to add our users to that special access. Our first section is our properties, essentially our due dates and availability dates. You can see when I have my due date here, the course already has a due date for the quiz, but I'm going to extend that due date for an individual student by clicking on the due date picker here. And I'll give that student an extra week, let's say. You also have the option to override your timing for your course. So whether that's an overall time limit or just the behavior when the time limit is exceeded. So in this case, I'm going to change both of those. So in this case, my current time limit for the quiz is 1 hour and 20 minutes. I'm going to, or sorry, 2 hours. I'm going to give this student 3 full hours to complete the quiz. And then for my override behavior, this gives you a couple options. If you have a time limit on a quiz for your students typically, the quiz will automatically submit when that time is exceeded. And then you have the option for special access to either do nothing, not enforce the time limit. You can flag the course as exceeded the time limit, but the learner continues to work, or you can have them automatically submit the quiz. I'm going to keep this do nothing option just to not add any undue stress to students if they do go over that time limit. You can change the attempts as well if you want to allow for unlimited attempts or maybe 2 attempts if you are only offering students 1. We're not going to touch that today because it's already shown as unlimited. And then your users, so you can view by user or by groups. If you wanted to create a group of students that always got special access, you could make that group ahead of time. I'm going to view by just my individual learners though, because we're just going to give this special access to Samantha here. So once you're all satisfied with your different special access options, you'll click Save. And it shows here a list of the different special accesses that you are offering. So it'll show me Samantha's special access. You can create more than one type of special access on different assignments as well. So I could add another special access to this course to allow, let's say, Ashley is going to be out of town and only needs 1 extra day. We can do that as well. All other conditions stay the same. And we have 2 special accesses here. So once you're all happy with what you have, you can save and close. And then as always, since you've made a change to the quiz, you'll want to make sure you save and close this as well. And that is adding a special access to a quiz. Like I said, the workflow is virtually the exact same for assignments, except you don't have to worry about the time limits since those do not have timed requirements. All right, so a few things I'd like to draw your attention to before we move into our discussion and Q&A portion. We have our D2L Champions program. We'd love to invite you to join D2L Champions, as being a champion gives you the opportunity to receive points for attending webinars, submitting blog posts, or giving us reviews online. You can then redeem these points for gift cards, as well as additional D2L services like course audits, all kinds of really great stuff. If you're interested in signing up to be a champion, the link to do so is in the chat. We also have the K-12 Educators Community Group that I mentioned earlier. This is a great way to connect with folks at other institutions using Brightspace. You can ask questions, post discussions, or get new ideas on different ways to use Brightspace. You can either scan the QR code on the screen, or again, we'll put the link in the chat if you're interested in joining us there. We have a few upcoming webinars I wanted to call your attention to. If you haven't registered for them, the link will be in the chat, and they're also available in the Brightspace community. Our next session will be all about evaluation in Brightspace on May 14th. And all right, so we do have a few discussion questions to talk about. So which tools in Brightspace do you currently use, or are you most excited to try to personalize learning for your students, and why is that? And then secondly, what challenges do you face when trying to personalize learning, and how might Brightspace tools help to address them? So if you like, you can raise your hand and we can bring you off mute. Or if you feel more comfortable typing out your question, the chat box is open and we would be happy to answer your questions through the chat as well.
Hi, Sam. I do want to give everybody the chance to kind of respond to this discussion, but we did have a question in the Q&A earlier that we thought you might be able to speak to. So if you could take a moment to just kind of look that over while people are thinking through these discussion questions and see if you might be able to speak to that class progress portion a little bit more.
Yeah, I see Michelle's question here. So how do you share learning outcome trends with students if you use personalized learning outcomes? You mentioned turning off the view for class progress, but you're not sure how students can see the learning outcome trends otherwise. This is a great question, Michelle, and unfortunately that's just a bit of a product limitation. So if you wanted to track student learning outcomes or personal learning outcomes, by using Brightspace and have all that data for yourself and your reporting, that would be the trade-off, is that students wouldn't then be able to see their learning outcomes, unfortunately. I do see that that is a bit of a product gap and is not ideal. It would be great if we could just assign learning outcomes to students or maybe remove outcomes from the class progress tool. But unfortunately, at this time, there's no other way to do that. But we have had some folks really liking having the workflow of being able to track outcomes for IEP goals by turning off class progress and having individual IEP goals in Brightspace. Thanks for that question, though, Michelle. Really great. Were there any other questions or anyone want to answer from the discussion? We have a little bit of a quiet group today, and a smaller group today. I think lots of folks are sitting on a beach enjoying their spring break. Not that I can blame them. The weather's a little dreary here. So, like I said, if you have questions that you or discussion response, you can put it in the chat or you can raise your hand and come off mute. While we do wait for some questions to come in, I'll put our survey up on the screen. We love to hear from you after these sessions. So we have our post-session survey, and we really appreciate your feedback. Every time we get feedback on these sessions, it helps us to make them better and better to better meet your needs. So if you'd like to participate in the survey, you can either scan the QR on the screen or there is a link in the chat as well. And then I'll just echo Alvaro's comment in the chat that if you do have any additional questions after today, you can reach out to your account team, your CSMs, LAMs, and TAMs are more than happy to help you.